Okay, there we go. There we go. Alright, we're good. Now, y'all give me a second. I'm going to get me some water real quick. And I'm sorry it took me a little too long. I had to use the bathroom. My stomach was not having a good day. So yeah, what's good everyone, it is your boy That Dude, and we are back on the Greatest Attorney Chronicles, and yeah, I feel tired, but it'll be alright though. But yeah, we are supposed to be going out there, and I think the last thing we left off at is we beat the case of, what you call it, the other dude, Shamspear or whatever, that Sham or whatever you want to call him. But look, yeah, we beat his case. We found out that Alpha Grade poisoned him, which I think it obviously makes sense, especially if he was in that place. So it made sense. But yeah, now we're in the case of, I don't know, some teleporting like balloon thing. I don't know how that goes, but we shall see how it goes. But I will see y'all in the thing. Let's go. Let's continue. This is called The Return of the Great Departed Soul. And I think we have 2 more chapters after this, and then I think we can end it. In the game from there, and I probably can't do the other games yet, but what I'll most likely probably, and I'll say probably do is what you call it, or what should I say, the other thing, and see how it goes. So we roll in here. So yeah, 22nd of October, 9:36 a.m. Shalom Suite. If you want to see what happened, you can look at it from the very end of my other one and go from there. Weirdo. Bruno, are you listening? Oh, sorry. What was that, Iris? What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast? No, that's not at all. What were we talking about again? Today's papers. It's full of news about the Great Exhibition again. Ah yes, the Great Exhibition. I like to go sometime. You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Harley? Yeah, he down in the dumps. Did you say something, Iris? Oh gosh, you're even more down. Yeah, he definitely is. When did you arrive, Mr. Naruhoda? I've been here for about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I thought you might have known I was here, you know, because breakfast? Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim. So much so that I didn't notice your presence. Thanks. Of course, I could deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning with all its unruly spikes. Ain't that what he been at? Clearly it can be deduced therefore that... let me stop you there, Mr. Shobes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair has always looked like this. It always has, ever since we first met, in fact. Exactly my point. I was about to say, ain't it always like that? Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Ha 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 ha. Thanks again. You boosted all my spirits with that laugh. It crossed my mind recently that it's been 6 months now. 6 months? Since I was forbidden from working in court. So I've been wondering how much longer that I'm going to be banned. Oh, well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley? Did you say something, Naris? Ah, back to moping. And we don't get to see no good old Susato. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? That man is out of the dumps. He seems more down in the dumps than me. I know, and the great submission has opened. You'd think he'd be excited. Oh, why don't we all go see it together? I want to. Of course I do, but I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So you're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from, is that it? I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Hurley. Suppose I should try to find out what's going on. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, about this. Shush, not a word. Ah, yes, I see. This will be a collar for a breed of miniature canine with a particularly long neck and for winter use. Actually, it's the armband I wear that symbolizes my role as a defense lawyer. Precisely, which leads us to but one conclusion. Your arm is in fact the particular long neck of a miniature canine. Sorry to wish I'd never shown this now. The man's barking mad. Yeah, you got that. Alright. Let's just get out the way, bro. We know what we're doing about. Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add? That's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shush! Quiet, Mr. Naruhodo. We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening. You're acting very strangely, Hurley. What do you mean, Ars? Well, usually, the more mysterious and complex the cases, the better Hurley's mood. Ah! Is it really a case that's bothering you? Iris, please, you must exercise your absolute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Remember what I always say. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions. Hey Ethan, how you doing, man? How you doing, man? You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes. Never mind. Want to have a cup of tea? I must make my way at once to the crime scene. Ha! That was a deep sigh. Alright, tell me about the 6 months ago, bro. Half a year ago now, I took on the defense of a young girl in the trial heard at the Old Bailey, which was Gina Lestrade. What first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at the London Brokery turned out to be one part of much more far-reaching plot that involved the British government. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable, yet at the same time unforgivable mistake. You had no choice but to say it. Words fail me. This situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord. In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend my time in research and study, so that's what I've been doing. Honestly, bro, you're good. Just do a Phoenix Wright then. Phoenix Wright went up there and was like, Alright, I'm gonna go out there and just tell you hits, but that's about it. You haven't you, Runo? Reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room. And the notes about Sholmes' old case. Brewing Iris' special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. Hold up, you said I've been streaming Bully Anniversary, the Anniversary Edition on mobile lately. I'm on the phone with that. Oh, that's up. Have you been streaming that? I forgot to ask about that, but have you been streaming about that stuff? Cause I don't know if you've been streaming that or not. I had to ask about that. Cause I think the last time I seen one of your videos was on Call of Duty. I think that's the time I watched the stream that I know of. Oh yeah, Full Touch. That's what's up. Hopefully that's going all that good and all that good stuff. Hopefully it's going good. Gotta say that. You've become something of a manservant around here. Start on the silverware next, Master Naruhodo. Well, I'm thinking of going to ask the powers that be to reconsider. Specifically, Lord Strongheart at the British Supreme Court on Whitehall. Lord Strongheart? Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice? Not my favorite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the only who can get right permission for me to start working in the courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could. And I can't do that just sitting around here. The whole of London has been swept up in this great exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology, the finest work of arts, and feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching. Oh, do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons. Oh, look down on? Do you mean those things? Fly? Yes, of course. They fly high in the sky. You don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air. But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense. I can't understand it at all. Okay, then you doing part 5 around 5 p.m. I would probably lurk on the stream. I would probably lurk on the stream if I can. Because it depends on whenever this thing stops. That's where I'll stop at, though. You said it's the only game you're looking forward to. Not that I know of. I mean, I know there's Switch that has Tamagotchi Life stuff. I haven't really played that, and I would like to get on Switch, but not too worried about that at the moment. Another game I'm worried about, I don't know in particular, honestly, because I think the only games I've mentioned was the ones I think I mentioned before, but hold up. I'm trying to figure out what other game is out there. I'd have to look at my PlayStation. Not PlayStation, but look at my phone on PlayStation. Hold up. Let me look real quick. Okay, I think Fatal Fury City of the Wolves I'm interested in playing, so there's that. Maybe Metal Gear Solid, the Snake Eater, maybe I'm looking forward to that. And of course Split Fiction, I'll try to play that when I can, because it's already out, so I might be interested in seeing that game and playing it. Those are the main ones I would say. So City of Wolves, Metal Gear Solid with the Snake Eater, I think, and then there would be Split Fiction, which I should have been able to got that around the 6th, but yeah, I ain't got no money for that. That's true. A lot of new scientific discoveries, most people can't understand them at first. But in hundreds of years of time, all these things will just be common knowledge. I suppose they might be. I know I've been waiting for Hogwarts Legacy 2, and of course GTA 6 and Mario Party Jamboree. Oh, what's up? I know one of my other friends were looking forward to it, which I think Vortex is looking forward to GTA 6 though. But he's trying to get that GTA 5 out the way with the heist and stuff, which I don't know if I'll be getting 6. That just depends on how everything goes. Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong on the open experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. There's a huge explosion. Still, I wish I'd seen it though. I'd love to see how bad some of the scam experiments really are, says the innocent 10-year-old girl. See here, every page of this paper carries some article or other about the great exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable, whatever you want to call it. That's my proper atmosphere. I'm the type of guy that just like the story. I'm not really into the online aspect of it. Understandable. Like, that's mainly my thing. That's why I like Metaphor. I played Metaphor Perfectio that whole time. I was trying to play it for the story. It was a good story. Okay, the Great Exhibition newspaper has been entered into the court record. Oh man, what? Shadows cast behind. Is that a metaphorical way of referring back to the back of the paper? Hey, take your time, take your time. So many glowing reports about the Great Exhibition and everything that's going on there. Other than this gloomy looking one, that is. Wait, what? What's the matter, Runo? The Reaper attacked. That's Lord Van Zeeks. This must be what Mr. Scholes is talking about. Does he know any more, I wonder? It says in the papers that Lord Van Zeeks was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes, Prosecutor Barrick Van Zeeks. They say that if the Reaper is a prosecutor in any case, there's no salvation for whoever's in the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. Hey, the other guy was smart left. To be fair, that's not even his fault though. London's finest rogues always find a way around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really, the capital has a never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Van Zeeks has been attacked like this before? This is the first time? He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems that his assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness. Is he alright then? Is Lord Van Zeeks hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know? Well, in this article here it says, as to what of Lord Van Zeeks and his condition will all be revealed tomorrow's morning edition. Ah, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No, I can't wait until tomorrow. In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in the know. But who? I don't know, maybe a daggone, like, cop? Maybe Tobias Gregson? Or Lord Strongheart, perhaps? That's who. Well, I must be leaving now. That man dressed up real quick. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Holmes. Ha! You really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you would have to be wasting your time. The thought had to cross my mind, but I'm now wondering where you're going. Ha 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 ha. Well then, see you later indeed. I don't get it. This is him. He's still laughing on his way out of the door. Alright then, Reynolds, let's get going. Whoa, 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 you're not coming with me! No, 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 you're not coming with me. No, Iris, no, stay here. It's more safer here at least. Oh, Iris? What are we wearing? And why are you coming with me? That makes no sense. You're a 10-year-old. Just stay there with your Mickey Mouse outfit. Then I look at the game. Like, this is all the reading. Well, sadly, I have to read. That's the only problem I have. I wish they could do mainly the reading, but yeah, they don't be caring. Which sucks for me. So I gotta read this. Even Danganronpa, at least they had a little bit of about times they were reading. Sometimes. It'd be rough out here for me. I've got changed to go to the Great Exhibition. You're going to take me. Yeah, I'm not doing that now. I'm going to Strongheart. Honestly, I feel like I'd rather take the Pokemon games than this game, honestly. What? But I was just about to go to Supreme Court! Oh, well, that sounds fun too. You're gonna take me there too then. I took you the other time, Iris! I'm not taking you with me. You can shoot me with whatever, like, weird gas paint you got. I don't care. Alright, fine. Just lower that weapon, would you? Of course. And after the Supreme Court, then we'll go to the Great Exhibition. If I have time for that. You suck! Man, shut up, Iris. Let me get over there. Birds are chirping. The birds are out there flying around like stupid dum-dums. They don't know where to do. They're stuck in this stupid hell chamber thing. I'm just here just vibing. The 22nd of October. British Supreme Court Lord Chief Justice's office. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here. But some things never change, like the sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place. What are you doing? Doesn't seem to be bothering her at all, though. She's happily reading over there. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've probably did every time up here, so I'm gonna be honest with you. It's probably more than 20 hours. I'm gonna say that. It's probably more than 20 hours because I've done 21 parts of this, and I think I've done up to an hour, if not more, than it. So either I've done an hour, or I've done 3 to 4 hours to 5 hours max with it, depending on what thing it was. So honestly, it's probably more than 20 hours. I'll definitely say that it's definitely more than 20-something hours in total for this thing. Because I wasn't going to do it yesterday, but I had to Kill Cure, which is like a Danganronpa game, and do the prologue for that. So yeah, you know, it's kind of here with that. So yeah, I've done more than 20 hours at least with this nonsense. She's happily at reading over there. Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here. Does Lord Chief Strongheart be okay with that? Of course, I was forgetting that you've been here before. Yes, she's been here one time before, but I don't know about others. The time we came here 6 months ago, when Susato-san was given the news that she was to return to Japan. Ah, I understand you wish to speak with me. Oh, Lord Strongheart. I trust you've been keeping well. When will you do another series? And what game will it be? Well, that's the other question. The other thing I have to answer. So, I said to the people, whenever I finish this game here, I would be doing the Sonic game that was on the pass. I think it was the Ultimate one. Hold on, let me actually look that up just for you, just so I don't accidentally forget. It was on the Plus thing, but it was Sonic Colors Ultimate. Sonic Colors Ultimate. That's the one game I'm supposed to be doing. After this, I'm doing Sonic Colors Ultimate. And then after that, it will be whatever game I can see. It always depends on the other stuff, though. At least for PlayStation, though. But yeah, that is one of the games I'm supposed to be doing is that. And to go from there, though. So I'll make something work with it. I'll make something work with it down the lines of it. Let's see. Since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while. My apologies. Oh no, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around and staring into space. It's very great for my mental health, sir. Good to know. I'll do that again and say you're trash. Good to know that doesn't appear to bother him at all. Mel Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. Yeah, he definitely will rock that thing though. Everyone's afraid of this man. This man is a menace to society at this point. You need only savor the air for a moment in this grand office to understand its preeminent statue or status. Mainly status. As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result. Policing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crimes, and furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium. What the heck is this? Symposium? I don't know. Or symposium? I don't know. Oh, I've not heard about that, but I don't know what it is. I don't know how you say the name, but you got that, Strongheart. I believe in your hard works and efforts. Investigating authorities for 40 centuries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As we're in the hosting nation, I have much to do. And it is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about. Thank you for agreeing to this meeting, my lord. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing on my mind, as it happens. Bruno, just take a deep breath and come out with it. This. By the way, Lord Strongheart, about this. Hold up, let me look at this. I've also been playing Diablo 3 lately and been having fun with it. Next series that I may be doing is GTA. That's up. What GTA are you doing? Are you doing San Andreas? GTA, with Nico? You doing it with 5? Or what GTA are you doing? What GTA are you doing? Or are you doing the whole GTA series? Gotta ask about that. The symbol of a defense lawyer in Japanese judiciary. Oh yeah, that's what I was trying to play too. Every time I kept playing it, I kept getting hit with some nonsense. It kept hitting me with copyrights. I couldn't even turn that thing off. That thing messed me up, man. That thing messed me up. That thing was stupid. That thing turned everything off. It still was out there hating on me. I don't know why though. Oh, I didn't expect you to know that. We never accept foreign students before first researching the legal systems of their home countries. But such trinkets are merely for show. The only true measures of your worth is your performance in the courts. Yes, right. Okay, I'm just gonna skip this part. I'm just gonna let that be scanned though. There you go, I had to get that out the way. Wait, hold up. Is there anything I need to scan real quick? Had to make sure I get all that out the way, because I was gonna read the same thing over and over. Okay, permission to work. I actually came here today to ask you for your permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work in the court as a lawyer was revoked, and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, it made me understand what it really meant to defend somebody under the rules of a foreign justice system. And I desperately want to have another go. Please permit me to enter the courtroom again. He's like, I like that. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? No, I haven't forgotten my position at all, sir. At best, you are a substitute for your compatriot. That was never your intended role. Well, that's true. The Japanese government actually sent my best friend on this study tour, not me. It should have been Kazuma. It should have been him, not me. As that is a meme, though. It was it should have been me, not him. Type of thing. He probably say it in his head. He was so determined to bring change to his own justice system at home. That was his calling. Look at that man. That man had a dog in him. If that tragic accident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Just like it was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him. His calling, you say? Hasn't it never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? Sorry? The mission with which that young law student was charged, what do you suppose it really was? What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense. Never mind. I've read all the reports you submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean... As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's wonderful news, Runo. In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to mark your comeback. A curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope. Of course, please tell me more. After this, sir. All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition. In the next month, the large and most important of them all will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium, or Symposium. It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Exactly! London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. So it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible. Which is what known as forensic science, isn't it? Exactly! The future of policing. Again? Really? Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to the adaptation of forensic methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly! It's extremely alarming. Again? Come on now. If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you could be sure, I'm assuming that's what it says. But let me look at the message real quick. The essential PlayStation member for a year used to be $60, now it's $80 for a year. For kids in membership because of that. Dang, it's 80? Dang, wait a minute, why is it 80? Why is it 80? Hold on, I might have to cancel mods when it comes to that. Oh, brother. When it comes to that, hold on, I gotta look at that. What the heck were they smoking on when they thought about that? What were they smoking on? Why would they do that? That sounds stupid. I'm looking at this thing real quick. Ugh. I'll check that out later. Oh brother, that sounds terrible. That sounds absolutely dog water terrible. They always want to do it. Why are they doing that? I did it for a year so I didn't have to worry about it. Like, that was $80. It's ridiculous. But 85 or 86, ain't that? Yeah, that ain't gonna lie. They all doing some nonsense. I don't know what they doing. Cause like I don't know when mine's supposed to be renewed. I think it was supposed to be like September or something. September, October. I can't tell at this point. I don't remember. The numbers of crime committed and resolved in London would be very different to the current figures, and I could cite 12 solid arguments and 230 or 23 individual reasons support my claim. Sorry? By the way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier, I shall detail everyone now. What? Oh, how fascinating. It all began 15 years ago. I was... That man talking so much that the screen said, no, shut up already. You're still yapping? And that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter. In simplest term, of course. Essentially, the formally established a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. That is my mission. Oh, right. Yes. That's wonderful. Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it will be. Yeah, she's just reading a book, man. I wouldn't. I wasn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in other books now. Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful? I actually drifted off for the most of the part. He's surprisingly ardent about forensic science. I would be asleep too, bro. If that man keep yapping about some science and I'm just out here like 200 something reasons, I'm like, bro, just show me the I'd rather you just show it to me on text. Show it to me on like a random like book or something. Highlight the important things, we good. You described it as a curious affair. Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday? Indeed, I did hear about it and I saw it in my face, so yeah. Excuse me, but the main character has not seen that though. Oh no. Yes, I've read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see. How was it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think? Instantaneous kinesis? I said moving things with the click of a finger? That's right. It's just what my herbal blends need, a dash of devil-may care. Whatever the serious accident was, exactly, it's clearly captured Iris's imagination, and I want no part in dealing with that. It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage, and a man lost his life. A certain Mr. Odie Asman, an investor and a well-known figure in society. A large explosion? A man died? The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Harebrain. He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow on the charge of murder. What? Murder? If you intend to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet with him at the prison. There is a very little time for you to carry out your investigation or the investigation. I can't tell. We'll have a quick. Any kind of investigation. There we go. Okay. The article was saying that some people bite the bullet and pay the price, or looking to switch the consoles and going to PC or Xbox or Switch. Well, technically, I got my PC on that left side over there, so if I need anything, I'm balling. But I don't think. Hold on, I'm trying to think. Is there any game I need that's? Okay, I think other from Ultimax. Hold up. So I got Ultimax. I think the Myrick Drummer one, I don't need a thing for that, so I'm good. I don't know about this. I think 000 is fine. Marvel Rivals, I think it's good. Master Duel, I think it's okay. I think it might be Shadowverse 2 and maybe like Suicide Squad. Okay. So yeah, I think only Suicide Squad would probably be my main problem. Everything else, I think, needs that thing. So yeah, I think just that was the only one that needs PlayStation Plus. So I should be alright. I should be alright though. And if anything, I might do it like a month or 2 or 3, because at this point, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. The Great Exhibition, a scientific experiment gone wrong, and murder. I fell out of my depth before I even started. Still, we should go to the prison straight away then, and try to meet with this German professor, don't you think? Definitely. Oh yes, one more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh, okay, good enough. Since my PC isn't strong enough for games. However, I do have Switch, and for the yearly subscription, only had to pay $25. Oh, you only have to pay $25 for like the Switch? That sounds kind of interesting. Especially for like a year, that's actually kind of perfect. Oh, with Lord Van Zeeks? How? That reminds me, have you seen this? This reports over the overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition? Of course. No, not that. The story on the back page. What story? The Reaper attacked. Ah, that. You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prospect, have you not? Poor Mr. Reaper. What happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he? There's no need for your concern. Lord Van Zeeks would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you. Can you tell us what happened? I'd really love to know. Very well. If it interests you. It does, strangely. Perfect. That's what we wanted to hear about. Let's talk about that. Fortunately, Lord Van Zeeks emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter. But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. Why was he attacked, though? Do we know? It's related to the events that occurred a month ago. A leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Van Zeeks. But the man was acquitted. I have no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes. Large sums of money? A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question met a dramatic end yesterday. But you're not suggesting that was the work of the Reaper, surely? The victim's henchmen certainly seemed to think so. He was a man by the name Asman. Mr. Odie Asman. Then and then we gotta get him out then. Get that man out of here. Yeah, this guy right here. Yeah, he a criminal then, bro. That man said, nah, he a well-known financier. Yeah, nah, get him out. Did you say Asman? That's the man who died in the big explosion at the Great Exhibition. Yes, known publicly as an investor, but in reality, the head of the significant criminal organization. Unbelievable. I wonder, could I ask you something, Lord Strongheart? Try me. Why do you use Lord Van Zeeks as a prosecutor? All the criminals who managed to get off in court didn't meet them with the mysterious end outside the courtrooms. I can't see that. Okay, there you go. Forgot to ask you, actually, but how's your love life going? It's going lovely, man. It's going lovely, man. I wish I had a love life, man. My love life is literally like this. It's literally like rock bottom. My chance of getting a girlfriend, unless like I actually go out and do something, you know, get that thing working, is like a likely chance that this controller right here will actually work. That chance is nil to nothing. This thing is nil to nothing. And barely wants to work. Even if I put the USB in that thing, it'll literally say no, and it'll just mess me up. So that's how much my chance of getting a girl with a love life is gonna happen. At the moment. Maybe like in like the next like few like months when I see somebody, sure, maybe it can work out. It can work out. But for right now, that thing is at Trash Tail City. I'm getting cooked. I'm also be at Suplex City before I go up there to get to that chance. I'm gonna get cooked doing that. I'm gonna get cooked, man. I'm gonna get cooked with that. And fearful of the fate they seek to strike Edward Van Zeeks first. I'm just keeping it as stack. I'm just keeping it as stack. My sense of that is just not gonna work, man. I'm getting suplexed before that happens. I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but still. Something's clearly going on here. Van Zeeks work for the prosecution service for two reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. That makes sense. How can you explain the way so many people have died without someone's hand and stuff? Van Zeeks may have earned himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer. So he will continue to prosecute on behalf of the Crown. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues might be starting to fidget. 11 hours late? That's quite something. That meeting had already started when I arrived back here for this engagement with you. So lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man. Sure, it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments and 223 reasons. Oh yes, where would I find Lord Van Zeeks now? I would assume he's at the office. Alright, he said, how much would you say that you're going outside and interacting with females or just people in general? So let me say it like this. I work a lot as is. Mostly I work inside the house now because ever since that one incident with, the Salvation Army, with that one woman trying to start rumors about me, I don't be around a lot of people like that. The most I might go out is maybe a Saturday at times, so maybe Sunday. I think the most I've been out, I think, was last Saturday. The previous Saturday, because I was going to Golden Corral and I saw some girls. I talked to them a little bit, you know, I was vibing with them. That's probably the most I'll say. But usually I try not to get caught in a case like that, because sometimes they be on some nonsense. I don't know why, but some girls be on some nonsense. Anytime you go out there and say, hey, what's up, they think you're trying to the entire time. And I'm just like, bro, no, that's not my case. But yeah, that's kind of how it would be, though. I would assume he's at his office. Right. I'll go ask him about the attack in person. I want to get this straight from the horse's mouth. Away with you now. I'm leaving Professor Hairbrain's defense entirely in your hands. Now be gone. You loser. Be gone. Of course, yes. Thank you very much, Lord. Get out of here. Yeah, they be on some nonsense stuff. That's the thing about it, sadly. Man, just get over here, girl. 22nd of October, prosecutor's office. Oh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office. Yes, it appears so. It says showdown in your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere. Oh, is that... That hooded figure was so still, I hadn't noticed his or her presence. I wonder who it is. What are you doing here? Ah. Oh. It's Fanzix. He's out there like, I'm here. I'm gonna cook real quick. I got this. He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you well. I am. What's up? So, who's the person over there by the wall being punished for something or other? No punishment is taking place here. Oh. That's my apprentice. He's sitting there of his own free will. I didn't know you had an apprentice. It must be the same person who was pictured in the newspaper. Indeed it must be. He's very able in combat, a requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage. I referred to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the newspapers, or in the papers. The Reaper? I'd be interested in knowing to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming, that is, such a fabled fiend generally inhabits our great courtrooms. Oh yeah, sir, I wanted to make sure that you were okay. Lord Trollcart said that the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack. True. Carried out by henchmen of Odie Asmon's criminal organization. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent. Presumably, some hoped to kill me before that happened. Odie Asmon. He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers, a global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhanded means, via his criminal activities. And he used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he was found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper. But the man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances, it was a most unusual cause of death. I know about that. It was a super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Mr. Asmon died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. If you could rank your top 5 movies, what would it be? I would say, let me think. Big Hero 6. I like that. Wreck-It Ralph. The first one, not the other, not that second one. I don't know what that second one is. Get that second one out of there. I'm talking about that first one. That first Wreck-It Ralph one. I then might get the Robinsons. I'll get the Robinsons out there. That's 3. 4, which could be Incredibles, like I think the first Incredibles, I'd say. I'll say that one. And the 5th one's a little iffy because it could go either way with it. Because I liked Bolt. I liked Bolt a lot. And I liked what's that one? I have to look up that one movie. Y'all give me one little second. I gotta look up that one movie though. It was a Disney movie though. I have to look it up so I know. I want to make sure I say it right, not say it wrong, so I don't get butchered on. No, it's not Chicken Little. It's not Chicken Little. I already said Robinsons, which that's the one I said anyway. Where is the other movie at? I swear I can't get the one movie right. It's not Tango. No, it's definitely not that. It's not a Kanto. Definitely not a Kanto. Oh yeah, Kung Fu Panda. There you go. Kung Fu Panda. There you go. I forgot. How did I forget that name? That name was so easily out there. It's Kung Fu Panda. Because they go either way with the Kung Fu Panda series. Because like, I like the first one because it's, you know, nostalgic. I like the second one because the second one is just straight up the best villain out there in my opinion. And then the third one's just the third one. Fourth one, I don't even talk about the fourth one. I don't even see the fourth one. But definitely like the first one, though. And the second one. So yeah, it works out like that, though. Correct. And you think I have some kind of a divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? Well, no. That does seem a little far-fetched. If this man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death, at least. It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Runo? I mean, with you taking on the professor's defense for the trial tomorrow, what, you're going to be defending him? Oh yes, that's right. Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest. Albert. Albert Hairbrain. That's right. Do you know him by any chance? Of course. He is a contemporary of mine. We were at a university together. You're... What? There you go. Contemporary. I'd understood that Professor Hairbrain was from Germany, though. Hairbrain's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research, that's all. So you were students together. I was in the faculty of law, of course. He's in science. Oh, hang on. So our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along. Though I've never met him since my university days. The second one is decent due to the whole internet thing. But Jungle Book has Dragon. I like How Dragon Dream. Meet Robinson, I feel that. Toy Story, I feel that. Last one would be Snow White. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I've never really got the chance to watch like Snow White, The Lady and the Tramp, all that other stuff. I know about Mulan though. I know about that Mulan though. But I don't know about a lot of that stuff. Like I know there's Up. There's the Bug's Life, and I hate It's Bug's Life. I don't know why I just don't like that movie at all. Cars 1 is fine. Cars 2 I don't really like that much at all. Cars 3 is good though. I forgot what Cars 4 was about on. Crumbles 2 is just a little iffy to me because like I wanted to see it a little long, but it was kind of with it. The Little Mermaid, I just don't really care about that. And then there's Frozen, but I'm like okay with Frozen. And there's Shrek, but we don't talk about we talk about Shrek 1 and 2, but I don't think we talk about the other Shreks out there sometimes because they're kind of iffy. That's just good. With it. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you of all people, representing him. Only if I make it out of this office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems. Yes, I know. Because the prosecution will be handled by me. By you? But you made it sound as though you and the professor were friends. We are friends, it's true. Then why would you do this? If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed. What's Lord Van Zeke's thinking? Right? What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean I'm a crowned prosecutor and immortal like any other? I'm no demigod. But they all died, haven't they? The people you've prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in conviction or an acquittal. Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who, without question, deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them. But that's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all. Nor was Jenny, in fact. She was ever so hard-working now. I'm gonna get rid of my stream. Just want to pop in for a bit. Join your stream. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'll try to join your stream if I can. I can't deny that since I encountered you. Things have taken a turn. But the point is this. If any of those vile wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the head of their own kind. It's not my work. Lord Trollcart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way. But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true. The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially. Oh, it would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives. Do you mean to say... I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves as a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly and with honor. But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed. If that is my fate, let God decide. Lord Van Zeeks. I know you've seen this around my arm before, but what is it exactly? It's the mark of a defense lawyer, in Japan at least. And what's your reason for showing it to a British prosecutor? Oh, well, I don't know really. I can understand, at least. There's merit in reminding yourself of who helped you become what you are today. Oh. But that's a personal matter. Something you may want to keep close at all times. Not something to flaunt. No, I suppose not. Thank you for understanding, though. Inspirational roots. Lord Van Zeeks, about the article in this paper. Oh yes, it seems there was a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. I had no idea that I had been photographed. It was careless of me. It looks as though it was taken after the people who attacked you had run away, though. Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them. Good to know. But there's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. Which is your apprentice over there. And I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it? As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice. Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him? Perfect! He is in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose. Ah, like you are in a hurry then, Runo. I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective. He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack. Looks like he's wearing some kind of mask. On Lord Trollcart's orders. Nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity. But why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual? Lord Trollcart's orders again. He's not one for meaningless follies. There would be good reason for his actions. I hope you're right. Yeah, he looking at me. He's like, I got that dog in me. Ah. The task is complete? Good. In that case, you can collect all the briefs. He looking at me like, I got that dog in me. I'm like, bro, nice to meet you. He's like, and he just walks away. Back to work again. That was really strange, though. I've never met the man before. I didn't even know he existed, and yet, somehow, it didn't feel like our first encounter. So that means he's someone that we know. Don't bother trying to go first with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside this office. Lord Trollcart has strictly forbidden it. Oh, I see. Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway? Well, I think I know him. By, stuff. Oh, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to... The way he stood there so casually, yet with the flawless posture. It couldn't be. Okay, it gotta be someone we know then. Oh yes, there's something I need to ask you. Oh, what's that? That Nipponese man, is he faring well? Sorry? The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago. With the stoop, and the mustache, and the generals. Ah, Mr. Natsume, you mean? I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out that you identified him from that list, Runo. He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post the other day. I see. See, he does care deep down. Well, I think we can end our discussion there, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you spend it investigating the case. Yes, thank you for the advice. And for the conversation. I can't believe he's asking after Saki-san. After a Nipponese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried. Or both. I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turn up for the books. A mad scientist? Ah, you mean Professor Hairbrain. Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Van Six, I think. Yeah, have a good day, sir. I'll see you later, baby. Around trial, baby. I'm going to the prison. Have a good day, sir. 22nd of October, local prison, cell 11. The word says cell 11. That's this one. Oh, there's someone curled in a ball in the back of the corner, look. What's his name again? Professor Albert Hairbrain, wasn't it? Yeah. Excuse me, Professor Hairbrain. Who are you? I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a defense lawyer. A lawyer? Ah, what's all that said? Ah, a lawyer, you say? What? Would you be here? About the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't... Yesterday's demonstration! That demonstration was... The magnificent demonstration was... It was an out-and-out success! By anyone's calculations. Well, I mean, yeah, I said I was gonna do it. I mean, I just couldn't do it the other 2 days because I had to do Kill Cure the entire time. How you doing? But despite that, no one listens. No lawyer believes in science. In the science, like, come on. When it's explained, they all leave at high velocity. Now's probably not a good time to mention that your zeal and my concentration leave for a while too. Yes, I'm going to show you my lawyer badge of R bed. Here's my R bed. Ah, fascinating, yes! In Japan, where I come from, it's a symbol of defense lawyer. Wearing it is very bracing, I find. Your words make some sense to me, but they are entirely illogical. What do you mean? Well, for example, I find this white laboratory coat that I wear for my work very bracing too. However, in my case, there's a perfectly logical reason for that feeling. Oh, really? What is that? Or what is it? I purchased the wrong size by mistake. This one is small too small for me. The sleeves especially are extremely bracing. I can barely move my wrist. That's what you call logical, is it? Of course! It's entirely logical. That's science, Mr. Naruhodo. That's not really science. That's more like you just bubbling up what your called laboratory coat was. Alright, let's talk about this, I guess. How could this have happened? You must feel awful. As well as a man lose his life, the Crystal Tower was greatly damaged too. I know that what happened. It must have been that. That? The day before the demonstration, I had my usual meal frankfurters at the hotel restaurant. When I paid the bill, they gave me 3 shillings too much in change. But instead of saying anything, I just slipped the coins into my pocket. They're still there now. It's divine retribution for my wrongdoing. That's what this is. For a scientist, he has some very illogical anecdotes. Long and illogical. I am going to get some water real quick. Give me a second. But yeah, like I said though, I definitely grind a lot though. So I'm gonna make something work though. I definitely will make something work if I have to, when it comes to any game in general. And plus, I think there's this trial, along with the 4th and then the 5th one. I think that's it. Then after that, I play in Sonic. So I mean, gotta do as much as I can with this game. So I gotta be like slow and steady with it. Cause I gotta also show out some Street Fighter 1 gameplay, but that thing's already dog water terrible. Okay. Go. I understand Lord Van Zeeks is a friend of yours from your university days. Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? A good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, an all-around nice fellow, really. Sorry, I think you may misheard me. Talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor, Baron Van Zeeks. What was he like when he was at the university? Talk about leading question, Runo. As I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he's the little darling of the Van Zeek family, with all its great aristocratic origins. I didn't realize he had quite a noble blood. Little darling. It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Really? What sort of event? Can I do my thing real quick? I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't there in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh, yes, of course. If he had heard all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zeeks will be a prosecutor in the court tomorrow. Can you explain more about the instantaneous kinesis? So in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground yesterday. Yes, or rather no, the devil is in the details. Strictly speaking, there's a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me. You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating. Humans, like all matters, are made up of particles that are held together by an electrical bonds. So it must be possible using a sufficiently high voltage to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see. That's my basic hypothesis. Gosh, that's unimaginably high level science. Oh, but dare to imagine it. Dare to dream of such incredible technology. Just think, one moment I could be here in this cell, and the next I could be at the Great Exhibition again. Well, yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in a mere blink of an eye, I could be at the Great Harrison Theater. or theater. The possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet would be within reach. So no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days? I don't really see it like that. What do you mean, Aris? Well, if you would travel anywhere around the world instantly, that planet wouldn't seem so vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like it had been shrunk. My word! That's exactly right! What are the implications? What does this mean? But that is true, though. If you could just go out there and teleport there, you'd actually... I guess it wouldn't be vast like that. Oops. That Professor Bunny Brain really worried by the looks of it. Clearly, this is another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, my calculations are flawless. The science works. But without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. And that's always the fly in the ointment. Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have. That's exactly it, yes! Hurley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more into science. Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Asman. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? Let's talk about the victim. The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Asman, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with that man, or with the man? He first visited me in the laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He's anyone that invested in my immaculate hypothesis. I thanked my lucky stars. I see, so you hadn't really known each other till then. Money for scientific research. I'm so envious. As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel. Oh, really? An archangel, even. He was prepared to fund an impractical, demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the great exhibition. I was stuttering because my brain was like, wait a minute, I'm getting cooked. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research for the British government. Mr. Asman proved me with money an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications even. But then your dreams were blown to dust into one enormous explosion. As you can see, I owned everything to Mr. Asman. I would never ever thought of taking the man's life. Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. That's true, I don't think he would kill him though. Plus that hair already is enough to make him a bad target anyway. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday. The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he? Ah! Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense, the experiment was a failure. At the same time, it was a great success. You've lost me. I saw my own eyes, right there in front of me. Mr. Asman was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculation had predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed to the crystal tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded and Mr. Asman, in fact, perished. Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Asman was an accident, correct? But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder. I was responsible for that man's death. That's the immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished at once. But... murder? Never in a million years! It was an accident! Simply an accident! I see. Hurley and I were talking about it this morning. You know, he said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder. How exactly? Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine could be kept in protective custody. On what grounds? Oh yes, it's newly established here in Britain. The Special D Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. That one passed by me by... But if the case is treated as murder, then they'll say my machine was the murder weapon, and they'll be able to pour over it as much as they like. If they examine the details, they'll find out how it was made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. My throat. Full of crap. The machine must be protected from that at all costs. That's why it's imperative that this whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial. Ah, I see now. That makes sense. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely, sure I understand you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying. You had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work. Is that correct? As correct as 2 squared is 4. I swear it. Okay, that is true. Yes, it's true that the man perished in a machine of my invention. So I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still. I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life. Not a centillion years. I'm a man of science. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. I believe in you, sir. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Well, I do. Of course I do. It wouldn't make sense that you said, you know what? I'm gonna take I'm gonna take your life because you did some nonsense. So I mean, I believe in you. Honestly, I believe you. Science is the pursuit of truth. I've always believed that all my life. I'm afraid I don't know much about science or your theories, but I do believe in you. And I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of law. It's all I know. You have to believe in me, please. You're kind of spinning right now. I'm not going to hold you. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage. None of that mattered. And none of it matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything you put your mind into. And who does take this person actually with? Thank you for that, Professor. You're kind of cooking right now, and I appreciate that. And what the heck this person actually with? Bro, what the heck? Oh, this man talking about some. You know what? I'm gonna have to watch it from their side real quick. I'm gonna excuse me. I'm gonna let this thing play out though, real quick. I just gotta look at it from this point of view. I'm gonna look at it right here. Boom. I'm gonna look at 2 of them. All right, good. But yeah, thank you for that, Professor. I appreciate that. And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court. All right, Runo. It's time to go to Rex mission. Sorry? Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it? Yes, suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last. See you later, sir. I'll be back. Maybe. October 22nd, the Great Exhibition Grounds, foot of the Crystal Tower. The showgrounds are a little too big for my likings. We've been walking around in the dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I felt myself swooning 3 times. There's a lot of people, aren't there? I've almost been trodden on 3 times too. Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't look on my head. We finally made it through the throngs, though. By the look of it. Here we are, underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. Dang, that thing looks crazy. What's that? I can hear voices from up on the stage. Sounds like an argument. Hey, that's my baby girl Gina right there. Okay, Gina, I see you. Hold up. He's like, Right, I had it with you this time. I'm warning you, I'll arrest you in a minute. Oh yeah? Go on then, Inspector. Give it a shot. We ain't got no evidence. And you know it. Wait, I know those voices. You got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady. But a night in the cells will teach you some manners. Just try it, I dare you. If you want that bag of chips rammed down your throat. He's like, I'm gonna eat them chips though. Yo-hoo! Grexy, what are you doing up there? Grexy's like, oh crap, your majesty! He just jumps down like, wait, I'm coming down, give me a second! He just falls down. Look, he instantly came down, he said, oh crap, I'll get you in a second, don't worry. He just drops down instantly. He's like, ah! It's you! Here! You're here! Here you are! Your ladyship! How are you, your ladyship? Hope you're doing well, your ladyship. Does that make her 3 times a lady? I'm not well at all. I'm far too busy with everywhere. I wanted to ride in the balloons, but there was a 3-hour queue. Unbelievable! I'll go have a word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you. Tobias Gregson, an inspector at Scotland Yard. Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action now. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story author, Iris. But there are limits, surely. Or there should be. Watch it, sunshine. Sorry. What gives then? Don't tell me you're on this case. Yeah, I am. Yes, I'm acting for the defense. So we're here to investigate. Dear me. That's the situation, is it? Is it really that troubling? MEC 5 Bob, is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't you? You can stand to carry a bit more copper around in your pocket, Mr. Nara Oda. Or Odo. What? Hey! That's my last bit of spending money, that is! You can have it back, but I have to charge you for all the bother. 3 bob. The Venom's working, but wait, be real. Ah, God, Vortex. Why you gotta do this to me? Why they doing this to me, bro? I don't want to look at that. Why they got the twerky mode out there? You know what? Why Venom got that? Oh, this sucks. This is Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket or diver, born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led to my own suspicion 6 months ago. Yeah, thank you, Gabe. Appreciate that. When it's mine. You got that, bro. You got that. I ain't mess with that. How you doing, though? This is the young lady I was defending in court. What's your problem, man? Odo? Diver? Pickpocket? What's with all the name calling? You want a bag of chips rammed down your throat and all, do ya? Of course you are, Vortex. I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You literally said it yourself. You were just arguing with the Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assumed you had been up to your usual tricks here at the showground. That ain't no way to talk to a lady, Odo. Half a year, a long time. People can change. That's good, and I'm doing alright. This game's gonna make me sad and depressed, but yeah, I'll be alright. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be a Scotland Yard detective. So you'll have to call me what everyone else does. An Inspector Lestrade now. Is there a reason that you have 997 up there? Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. The Inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls her that garbage. For what it's worth anyway. Investigating this off the cards for all of us. What's that supposed to mean? Right, well, I'll be back up top. You hold down the fort here, eh? Alright? Right, sir. This raises a lot of questions. Alright. Alright, let's go. Alright. This armband is proof, in Japan at least, that I'm a defense lawyer. And this badge is proof that I'm a detective. Supposed detective, but sure. So you're all gonna have to start calling me Inspector Lestrade. In that case, you have to start calling me, well, anything but Odo. I could call you Defender Nora Odo if you like, but don't really trip off the tongue. No, it doesn't have a great ring to it, does it? Gina, would you take a look at... Oh, where'd it go? Heh. Looking for this Odo? When did she do that? I wonder if you got anything else you can show me, eh? What do you reckon? Give that back first, please. Yeah, I don't got crap for you. Like, I'm broke. Like, literally, they said, yeah, you can't start working no more. And how long have I been streaming this skateboard? Hour 31 minutes? Okay, let's keep all of that with it. After all, it's his first 6 weeks. Wait, did they? Wait, what the heck is he doing? They have to give me something. That man cooking on that. Okay, you got that. I'm gonna tell my boy check out. Be lurking on this thing real quick though. All right, there you go. That's what I'll be lurking though. All right. It was 8 months ago now that I was encountered Gina in connection with the case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder. Twice. I had a lot of time to think about it in prison. I realized I couldn't go on like I was. The diving weren't working out. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Jenny. Well done. So, you went from pickpocket to detective? How's that work? You got it. Good, ain't it? Inspector Lestrade. Sounds like something out of the books, eh? Talk about a sea change. And then there's Iris's old man to think about. Iris's father, you mean? Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police force around over the world to pull all the stops to look for him. You don't have to worry about that. He's dead. Yeah, her man's dead. Yeah, she's literally, like, he's dead. Like, I don't even think why you're discussing it. Like, he's dead. He got bodied. It's a small promise, then. Nothing serious. Oh, Jenny, you're so sweet. So anyway, that's outcome. I had nowhere to go. Oh, so I had to go at the test for Scotland Yard. Only trouble is, I don't read so well, do I? It's a small problem, nothing serious. And that's when Hurley approached Grexy and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Ginny and made her sort of apprentice. That was very magnanimous, or magnanimous, of Inspector Gregson, and brave. Well, you know Hurley. He enjoys finding a way to make people do what he wants. And the great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words. So, the long and short of it is, if you got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade. Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there? Oh, what, Bruno? What? Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper. In the trial in which she was not found guilty, and yet she is still here. And yet here she is still. Come on, you're not still on about that, are you? Legend of the Reaper or whatever it's called. Corey, you don't have to worry, Odo. If I did half worry, there's a problem. Wouldn't be a whole lot of you left. It's like I told you before, ain't it? The Reaper is kind of like I'm upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside. That I ain't really done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong might be a stretch at this point. That's not the point though, but what am I missing? That's made in Japan. He's perfectly fine, isn't he? That man is in Japan. He got an excuse to get out of there. That man should have been dead. I'm not gonna lie. He got prosecuted twice. Twice. He got labeled for murder. Twice. One for a woman that literally got hit by a random throwing knife. And one because straight up there's some other nonsense. Like, what am I supposed to do about that? That was stupid of him to even get hit by that dumb nonsense. Hey, Liv, how you doing? Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought. Exactly, so I ain't worried. I'm totally fine. Whatever. Core. It was out of this world, it was. The brainy bloke put out a bunch of levers on his machine, and suddenly it started billowing smoke. Then it just went pop. I ain't seen a better experiment here yet. Sorry? You mean you saw it, Jenny? With your own eyes? Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge here, ain't he? Of course, everything runs smooth, I suppose, you know? The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. That's going to take some getting used to. So all I have to say is that I'm on duty, and I can do whatever I want to. Get this, I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above. No, you're so lucky, Jenny. Maybe I should join the Scotland Yard too. Yeah, do it. You know how to put the boss in his place already, right? Iris? You have no problem or no trouble at all. That Captain was clicking. That's enough. Congrats on that. Congrats on that. There's all that other stuff like Lord Centurion and all that stuff, and I'm just kind of like, with it. Then it's settled. When do I start? No, you can't join Scotland Yard, Iris. Oh, hang on. There we go. Well, we'll see. Anyway, what I don't understand is this. If the machine exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claimed that his experiment was a success? Oh, right. Well, it was a success in a way. It was? How could it be? Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success. It's like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke and that whopping great bang and all that stuff. But where do you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the crest tower over there. What? In the tower? There you go. You can see it for yourself, can't you? Up there, above the scaffold. Oh. Where all the glass is broken, you mean? Yeah, the cage what the victim got in to start with. Really did get beamed through the air, or whatever, and landed all the way over there. So you see, it did kinda work, didn't it? What? I don't believe it! I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Oh, I tell you what, you can have it. It's the plan of the experiment they drew up at the yard. Are you sure? Yeah, go on. I've had 3 bobs off before, so fair's fair. Right, yes, I did actually give that to you, did I? And the experiment is here. Alright. Give me a second though, I'm gonna give you some water real quick, give me a second. Sucks. There we go. Let's see. About the investigation. Something Inspector Griggs had said before seems a little strange. For what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the card for all of us. Yes, not old Gregson ran off after that without explaining himself. Oh right, that. The boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday. Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant. In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from investigation? Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither. Why? What did the boss call them again? The forensic investigation team, I think? Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, ain't it? So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate? Yes, I've never heard something like that before. I thought I could have had a gander on the quiet though, but the boss caught me at it. You probably heard him give me an earful about it for down here, didn't you? It's not bleeding fair. I think you were giving him as much of an earful back as I remember it. Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all the chips what make them stubborn. You say something to him, Odo. Go on, see if you can get to him. He's up on the platform above him, is he? We're the machine that exploded. We can try, can't we, Bruno? Okay, Rex will listen to us. This is gonna suck. These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the thing is. 22nd of October, the Great Exhibition Grounds, experimentation stage. So that's it, is it? The machine that blew up. Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion. I've seen my fair share. You've seen things like this before, you mean? Of course, Hurley's always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry. That might explain some of the burning that frequently come wafting up the stairs. One time he made something that exploded with such force, it took the roof off the building. I wish you had been there to see it, Bruno. It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof. Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate. Oh, look, Inspector Griggs is over there. He seems to be deep in thought about something, while eyeing the machine carefully. Really? He just looks confused to me. Excuse me, Gregson, sir. It ripped itself apart magnificently, did it? Magnificently and mercilessly. So someone stands in the middle in the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air. Yes, beamed. Not blasted. That's the point. Yes, that part's crucial, really. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris? Oh, Bruno, I'm just a child. How should I know? A child when it suits you, you mean? From what I can tell, I think if you were about to... Stop! Don't touch that! That was practically... instantaneous kinesis, the way you flew over it just now, Grexy. Please, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up there. So sorry. You can have some of my latest special blend to make it up for you. Yeah, he's drinking that thing. He definitely is. Wonderful. This stuff is really wonderful. It's just like old times, this is. Then talk to us then, sir. Otherwise we're gonna have to touch everything. We're representing Professor Hairbrain in court tomorrow, Inspector. So we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ha! Listen, Sunshine, even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's that blessed special dispensation for scientific equipment act to blame. It's driving me potty. Yes, that special dispensation. The professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at it sometimes. But we're allowed to just look, aren't we? Eh? Surely that's alright, isn't it, Grexy? Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. But please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will you? Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Bruno? She really knows how to get what she wants. Considering how badly damaged everything, I think it was okay. Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Hairbrain was lucky to escape unscathed, I'd say. Show everything good with the machine while we can, I think. Touch anything and I'll make sure I'll kill you before I get strung up myself, you hear? I won't touch anything, I promise. So please, spare your thoughts for your digestion. Anyway, do you really think this machine could actually disassemble people like the Professor claims? He asks, looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, Sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't, can we? Because of the annoying rules, you mean? Exactly! The annoying, obstructive, flaming rules! Oh, look at the base of the machine there. Oh yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh. It's a screwdriver, I think. That seems kind of crazy. Maybe they tried to mess that up or something. Oh, isn't it a lovely one? The handle is in the shape of a capital letter A. It is? Oh yes, you're right. Give me a second, I gotta do something real quick. There we go, perfect. That might be Odie Asmon's thing, if that's the case. That gives me a chance to say it's his. She's 18 in this case. Nice. Wait, how does that work? She was like 16, 17, now she's this. And she's still 10. How does that work? Did her birthday just pass by or something? Like, dang. Alright, let me see. Like, you're telling me that Susato is younger than Gina? It's crazy work. I'm just keeping it stack. Crazy work how that works out. That makes sense, you know. They're apprentices, well, not apprentice, but you know, they're kind of like best friends, like, you know, comrades from another school, you know. So the university days. So yeah, you got that. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything I said. Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I shrug up myself, I said. Yes, I understand. Sorry. Only touch though. Wait a teeny weeny bit. But Grexy, I'm very curious about this screwdriver. Really, really, really curious. And very, very curious. Of course, your ladyship. You're so clever, your ladyship. Fancy spotting something like this. But I'm afraid I can't let you have it. But Bruno found it first. I assure you, I'll investigate it thoroughly. He's going off with it. Huh, that was very mean, I'm afraid. Brother Grexit is going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in the next month's install now. Poor Grexy. Let's see. So, we can't examine anything whatsoever. Now, I ain't gonna lie, these ones I'm just gonna skip what it says. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip this part, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm just gonna skip this just in case I need it, but like... Just gonna skip it, but yeah. I don't really need it to explain everything, but yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Now, unless it actually deals with the crime scene. Other from that, we should be good. Alright. And we're gonna go this one right here, but give me a second. Gotta keep doing this every time. Alright, was like crap still, but got me a little bit of water from those things. Super good. Alright. Government policy. Okay, using high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body and then beam him across the crystal tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. True. It was by far the most unusual of the experiments planned from the exhibit's mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean. The government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the odd spot of public safety infringements. If they can be the first to develop some new technology, it makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see. Yes, I suppose that's true, in a way. So the powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on the scientists' rights at the moment. What sort of rights? They're making it so that any theories the brain have remained their legal property, as it were, right through developing it into a practical idea and even going into production, which is an infuriating reason us coppers aren't allowed to touch this crime scene because the new highfalutin special suspension for Scientific Equipment Act forbids it. Ah, I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are for some brand new department at the yard. The Forensic Investigation Team, it's called. We've been relegated to keeping guard. The Forensic Investigation Team. Any old fool can see that heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. But just because it's a scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it. Poor Grexy. He's very head up, isn't he? I'd be fed up too, bro. I'd be like, bro, I need to investigate something. Remind me again, what's the new legal act that means we're not supposed to touch the seed here? Are you having me added sunshine? It's the Special Suspension for Scientific Equipment Act. Yes, I think Hurley mentioned that recently. With a real twinkle in his eyes, I remember. Had a cough there. That thing's terrible. I'm sure he did, Your Ladyship. I'm sure he did. Passed especially for the greatest exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas or inventions to some suit in the civil service. And if it gets rubber stamped, the guarantee of rights to maintain the invention Confidentiality. What does that really mean? Think about it. Think about of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at this exhibition. So a good half of them are loaded with cobblers, if you ask me, put forward by shammers like yourself. Thanks for that. Oh, I love how absurd some inventions here are. It's also fun. It might be fun to you, but a member of the force has to be present at every single demonstration. Can you imagine that? Hang science, that's what I say. Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job. You'd soon think otherwise after spending a days guarding all these shammers, bogus, and contraptions. If they're all bogus, how could anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Yeah, well, there's a point, sadly. Sorry? Thanks to another of our government pride ideas, if any theory or invention is deemed to show some potential, the government hands out a research grant. A scientist gets funding? Exactly, and that's what they're all after. All these shammers coming from far wide clog up Hyde Park. And who has to keep them all safe? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Us coppers, that's who. So you can see why I say now, can ya? Hang science, hang it! Oh, maybe I can see your point. I agree. Apparently Professor Harebrain lives and works in Germany, not conducting his research. That's right. Came back to Britain, especially for the Great Exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after one of the government research grants. Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today. About his time for further education. It turns out he was in university with someone we both know. Lord Van Zeeks. Ah, what? What's that? That's news to me. What about the Van Zeeks? Man, it's the prosecution that has accused the professor's fate is sealed? Because the Reaper will get him one way or another? Blimey, that man's beyond me. I don't know what's going on in this. Talking of Van Zeeks, this morning's papers ran the story of him being attacked. Read that? Oh yes, but Mr. Reaper is completely fine. Nothing to worry about. Yes, that's right. Glad to hear it. Still, the Reaper, huh? How long that this is going to keep up, I wonder. The victim of this case, the investor, Mr. Asman, he was another one of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. Lord Baron Van Zeeks is the top-class prosecutor, but even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win. Yes, I've heard about the jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zeeks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters in his own hands if he failed to seal the deal in court. Although the man himself denies the charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation. The conclusion we reached is that Lord Van Zeeks is not in no way related to the death of those people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind. I'd take my reputation on it, I would. If that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants couldn't just have coincidentally, died if no one killed them. I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? The whole point of the Reaper? Professor Harebrain mentioned something else. He said at that university, Lord Van Zeeks was a totally different person. Easygoing and kind. Yeah, what? That sounds stupid. He said that it was after that they both graduated that something happened to change the man. Do you have any idea what it was? No clue. Really? Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh? Detective, what do you make of this? Frankly speaking, 9 times out of 10 I find clues turn out to be red herrings. So there's every chance they're totally irrelevant. That's actually a fairly persuasive argument. Can I read this paper? Yeah, 2 unwelcome blasts back to back. This was the exhibition, and we're getting attacked. I know, terrible news to wake up to, isn't it? I tried to pretend that I hadn't read it. It turned over for another 40 weeks. Thanks for that, I was up late and got roasted with the super. Some mornings are like that, aren't they? I'm Lord Venzix. I think he's ignoring you, Runo. The prosecution and the defense should avoid speaking outside the courtroom as a rule. So if anyone's being rude, it's most certainly the man in the black there stated before us. Oh, I see. Well, thank you for setting the record straight. Hey, did you see that? He spoke to me, Runo. So Lord Venzix had managed to... Oh, what the heck? He managed to visit a great exhibition yet. He's definitely ignoring you. Right? No. No niceties either, then. He left. Maybe we need to go back. What to do? I'm so excited about the prospect of Naruhodo's anything consultancy opening for business again. That's not what it's called. It's Naruhodo's legal consultancy. I've done a lot of studying the past 6 months, reading the law and all this stuff. I'm a lawyer now. Can't wait to start practicing again. Nothing's changed here though, has it? It's as though time has stood still in here since Susie went back to bed. I wanted to keep it ready for Mrs. Sato in case she was able to, return to Britain at any point. So I just left everything the way it was. Oh, I see. Right. And there it was me thinking it's because of the way you are, Reno. Never bothering to tidy up, I mean. Iris. This isn't the time or the place to bring up my tidiness or lack of it. Let's just see. I'm gonna do everything I can. Tito, yeah, I got it. Maybe I need to read this. The Crystal Tower. It certainly has an apt name. It was built to be the focal point of the exhibition. Exhibition. My goodness, my brain is not having a day. And it definitely is, being so tall with all that glass. I can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan. There's a lot of exhibits in the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery and a zoo and a museum. But I heard you have to queue for 3 hours just to get through the doors. Well, at the moment, this shattered glass from the failed experiment may as well be the biggest draw. And thanks to that accident, the whole tower is shut. Suddenly, it's not the Crystal anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower. Apparently, everyone's taken to the skies now to look at the disaster area from above instead. But there's a 3-hour queue to go up in that balloon now. Londoners must be very patient people. Ah, it looks as though someone dropped something behind the tree just here. Dropped or hid. What is this? Some part of machine that exploded? Maybe. It could have fallen from the platform above the blast, perhaps. What's going on here? Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case. I would too. I'm not trying to get a case card. There you go. Thank you. I'll gladly take that. Have a good day, ma'am. Bye-bye, Gina. I would tell you about evidence I found. As a detective, what do you make of? Okay, good. You got that, sir. Anything else I can do? I don't think I can escape with anything else because the game's gonna be like, yeah, no. Oh, perfect. I probably should examine this big tail thing that made me go up all of a sudden. That's an amazing coin-shaped device that is pointing towards the crystal tower. I suppose once people are disassembled by this machine, they shout out that thing to wherever they're going. I don't think it was supposed to be shooting anything, Bruno. It was set up to beam people to the crystal tower where they'd be reconstructed in their original form. Well, I don't like the look of it. If it was amazing as it looks, the accident would have happened in the first place, of course. Suppose that's true, yes. But nothing ever goes according to plan, does it? Okay, let's just go ahead and just look at everything we can. We're just looking at everything we can. For Pete's sakes, what am I supposed to do? I gotta look it up again because they don't tell you crap. Wait, who said who said hold up, let me see. Where's it at? I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Alright, hold up. I'm gonna have to look it up. It's not telling me crap. Do I have to show this to her or something? No. Let me see. Give me a second though. This thing is terrible. Oh. Is there anything I need? Oh. Okay, it's right here, and then let me examine these two, maybe that might be it. My brain just thought about it, like, oh wait, you see that Greek cloth right there? Yeah. For some reason the ground is damaged at this spot. Look, almost as if there was a fire here or something. Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and a burnt ember too. Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. Well, people wouldn't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this would have been. I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Bruno. You might as well be at this point. Oh look, what's this? A ripped piece of cloth. And it's not like any fabric I've seen before. It's very thick and stiff. It looks extremely durable. It's canvas, I think. Some kind of rubber backing. And the edges appeared to have been charred as well. Maybe that means it had something to do with the explosion. Let's make note of it while Ginny's mid-yawn. Okay, is there anything else I need to worry about? That's gonna make me crash out. There we go. Maybe I had to go to the other side. That's where the cove ended up after its instant kinesis, or whatever they call it, dead of course. Okay. And yet, they're calling the experiment a success. What's the wooden scaffolding there for? The coppers, or lads, set that up after the incident happened. Let's get the body down, I think. No, really. Didn't you help to erect the scaffolding? Nah, look out there, these more my thing. Wandering around the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff. Mind Gregson doesn't hear you say that, or he'll give you the boot. It's credible though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? Bruno, listen. What is it? I've been thinking. Hurley might know something. Might he not? Mightn't he? My bad. What the heck? About what? About Mr. Reaper. About what happened to Lord Van Zeeks, you mean? Because it sounds like it's something very significant occurred after you graduated from university. I'm about to get to my other controller real quick. There you go. There we go. Perfect. Alright. Something that completely changed his life. Maybe, but I have no idea where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment. He's in the middle of some big case, isn't he? Here, this is what you need. What's this? Some kind of entrance ticket? Madam Two Spells. Is that supposed to mean something to me? There we go. There you go. We gotta take a whole bunch of stuff, and I'll hold you. You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. We can go now if you like. No, we don't have time for visiting attractions today, Iris. Have a big trial tomorrow. But that's where Hurley is. What? At this popular London attraction? Dude, you dumb! She just said... Why do you think she gave us that, you dummy? Yes. How's it that you know where he is? They literally work together. Like, what the heck are you doing? Hurley told me, but he told me to keep it a secret from you, Bruno. Madam Two Spells? I don't really see how it can be related to the case we're investigating here, but then... stranger things have happened, and when they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of them. Yeah, you better get over there. Get to stepping, buddy. Okay, is this the girl that people wanted me to like? Or someone else? 22nd of October, Madam Two Spells Museum of Waxworks. Yeah, a whole bunch of waxwork in action. What is this place? Look at these terrifying scenes, but why are there all people so still? They're waxwork, genius! Come on! Guillotines? Ruthless murderers? I know what I'll be dreaming about tonight. They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Bruno? Shocked? Nah, that theme's like... That's what it sounds like. Wax models? Ah! I read about the dead bodies in wax once in a magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them can turn into wax, apparently. It's called a... Atomicary. Stop talking about creepy things like that, Bruno. You're scaring me. Anyway, Eddie Pausier is... Ah! What now? I didn't even say what I was going to say. But it doesn't form readily, you know. It's only very specific. I've just remembered something else I read in another magazine about another strange phenomena. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on a display. None of the exhibits in here are real. They're all entirely man-made replicas. That can't be. Do you really expect me to believe that? Just look at them. Oh. There's no way anybody can make models of people that are this realistic. So not the shows over there. Shows is like, I'm for the ore farm. That man is ore farming the best way he can possible. Get this man out of here. And they're all such gruesome seeds. Wait. What is it? Oh, no. I must be seeing things. What the bro? You're here, and what the heck is with this head? That's about to be an easy body for this man. This man is ready for the biggest body possible. He's like, I got you. You mine. Boom. Like, why does it sound like that? They're like, nah, we gotta make this ominous. Make that joke ominous. I got you on the points though. I'm sorry, that theme's crazy though. It's the great death of Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Sholmes has his own wax statue in here. Really? Nah. Well, he isn't well-famed after all. It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? It makes my skin crawl look at it. I know. But look, Rito, you can kick this Hurley, and he doesn't move a muscle. You can't go around kicking the 7 minutes. He's like, I'm gonna kick this guy. Wait, grab me, kick me. Wait. It just moved, I'm sure. That's a little bit either. Really? Did it? You better move, buddy, or I'm gonna kick you now. Look closely. There's a bead of sweat on the face. I don't know how you can see that. This waxwork bottle. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look. There's a great murder scene to enjoy. Much more appealing. My dear fellow, I take exception to your recoiling in such a manner, as if you've seen something truly abhorrent. Mr. Sholmes, I knew it. Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Norohoda. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? And that kick! Could you have not exercised a little bit more restraint? You winded me! Bruno has something he needs to ask you. A question! And I thought you'd probably be getting bored too. So here we are. Well, I cannot deny your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes, or being stationary like that, my great brain, upon which all my success has been built, would have turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived at time. Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you have saved the world from an unimaginable loss. Oh, Hurley, you do like to talk nonsense, don't you? He could know something that's true about Lord Van Zeeks and what happened in the past to change him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? For you're in luck, I'm suddenly quite taken with the idea of conversing. Oh, well actually I'm quite in a hurry. And if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe something is afoot within the walls of this eerie museum. A most fascinating case if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that it is related to the matter about which you've come to me now. But how could it be? We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow, but for now I must return to my work. What begged to be a temporary waxwork exhibit? Okay, so to ask you real quick. Well, what is that that you asked me then? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zeeks. Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust. And so I filmed Mr. Shows about everything I learned. About Lord Van Zeeks, about Professor Hairbrain, and about the strange coincidence that they had been in university together. So I'm wondering what is that happened to make Lord Van Zeeks such a different person. I was sure that you know Hurley. You said there was something going on around here in this exhibit hall before. That something was afoot. And that you believed it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up. Well, it seems we've reached the unavoidable... Greetings. Alright. Oh, hello. Where did she appear from? And what's she wearing? Could she be even more mysterious? I hope you are appreciating my museum. Sorry, have we? Jones, do you know this? Not again. My apologies, I am Esmeralda Two Spells. This is my museum of waxwork. What? You're the Madame Two Spells? Bien sûr. Though only 26 years young, I might add. Is that significant somehow? I am Madame in name only. It adds a certain je ne sais quoi. Right, I don't know what I said anything, but you got that. Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks, or rather, one waxwork in particular. That'll be Mr. Sholmes then. I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle. Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be a toll and trouble. Now you ain't gotta do that, you ain't gotta do them that bad. Nah, I would have run into it. I'm like, nah, I'm gone. Get away from that woman at all costs. That woman was about to boil you up to make sure you was gonna stay like a wax. That's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Michelle about Lord Van Zeeks now? Let's not forget what Hurley said before about something being afoot. Right here in the museum, I mean. Yes, I know, but I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here. Haven't we gotten enough on our plate already? The question is, do I want to keep going or do I want to stop here? And I feel like I want to low-key stop here. But how far... Hold up. Someone text me. Give me a second. Someone text me about something. Okay, I had to get something going though. Someone just texted about some nonsense. Alright. Why is there a shoe here? There's a... Okay, let me just go ahead and just examine this. Oh, that's a funny place for a little ladder. What is it? Is something wrong? No, it's just that in Japanese we have a totally different word for ladder that folds in half like that. We do in English too, you know. It's a step ladder or just steps. So be careful of making assumptions about other cultures, Runo. That's how wars are started. I didn't realize stepladders were internationally pointed of contention, but the writer makes an astute point. Okay, so we got that. So is that an example of a Western Sujiguri? I don't know what that is. You know, when an unscrupulous samurai randomly attacks a passerby to test his sword? I still don't know, no. But actually, a waxwork samurai would probably be hugely popular. Could you model it? Do you think, Renault? Doing that Sujiguri thing you mentioned. Well, I do have a sword, but I have no intention of testing how sharp it is on a human subject. At least, for now at least. He's not even blinking now. He really is a perfect model of a waxwork model. I know it doesn't always seem like it, but Hurley's quite a perfectionist in fact. He practices at night sometimes, instead of sleeping, not blinking, I mean. Well, practice makes perfect, I suppose. I've just realized though, seeing him standing over there now. He looks like he's that murder's accomplice, doesn't he? Or a henchman even. That's news to someone, by the looks of it. These models are so well made. I can't tell what's a waxwork and what's a real human. That's how Hurley gets away with making himself a temporary exhibit for the day. Maybe there's other people posing as exhibits in here then. Or maybe all the exhibits are real people. And when it's closing time, all the visitors have gone home, they suddenly start moving about. Just thinking about it makes me wish it was close time already and I was on my way home. Is that an arm? Looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the waxworks must have also fallen off or fallen over. You don't think it could be the work of one of the mass murderers in here, do you? Bruno, stop scaring me. Is it a wax arm or a real one? Come on, you're always pointing that finger out of yours. In court, poke that arm now and see how it feels. Objection! Is this some infamous murderer? Yes, called Jane the Ripper. Not Jack the Ripper, but Jane the Ripper. Keep that in mind. Our victims were young women. I knew it. You can tell by the way she's holding that knife. Sure side of a murderer. Well, yes. Ah! What's the matter, Runo? I've worked it out. I know what she's doing. She's trying to fill that bathtub with blood so she can have her victim's gore. Not according to the information about the exhibit on the little board here. It doesn't mention anything about the bathtub. Really? Sorry, I don't think it's significant. I still think it has to be for some reason. That thieves out there. They said, nah. Alright, the waxworks. Did you make all these waxworks, Madam Two Spells? I did, and I am a third generation of waxwork artisans, you know. Gosh! It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were secured, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution as she did. Though that is when she acquired the savoir vivre that leads to the astonishing lifelikeness. All these waxworks really do look as though they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than Hurley. What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocities, but mainly atrocious, of London's criminal past. All the waxworks were created in the presence of the real people on which they were modeled, in the hours immediately following their executions. That is the secret to the extraordinary lifelikeness. That sounds terrifying. All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade for excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. Is someone thinking about that? There we go. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I can create only that which the public wishes to see. Why couldn't the public... Wait, what the... Why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying? Do not fear. Sorry? This room is the only one in the museum with such macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are some models of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every taste, I hope. It was Iris who dragged me straight in here. Come to think of it. Sorry, perhaps I should have eased you into things. Definitely should have, probably for him. What's the situation with that? Ah, my temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal. Oh, what sort of proposal? My dear madam, what these sparse exhibits need is the addition of the world-famous great detective. Or words to that effect. Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known in London as a talented detective. It's great detective, actually. He's very specific about that. Yes, the creme de la creme. So I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms. Let me guess, someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services. For a mere £500! I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment. Or words to that effect. Jones might have overdone it slightly with the sale pitch. Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to some unforeseen circumstances. So we came to the current arrangement instead. Surely he doesn't really want to do what he's doing though, does he? I would think not, but he was very insistent. I have a 50 shilling problem that must be resolved by the morning. Or words to that effect. It's the pawnbroker, that's what it is. He must have something to redeem. Is the consultancy detective work not going so well? I wonder, could I ask you something? Bien sûr. I'm just curious, is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps? Whoever suggested such a thing to you? Oh, well, it was... your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... Oh, he disappeared. A wax model of the... is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. Huh? There you are! Leaving the exhibit again? When you should be working? Do you wish to be melted down? My dear Madam, 2 spells, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The vice can wait. It's about our idea about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police. Why ever not? She's turned as white as sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. Though, please be aware that I prefer... No, I insist upon payment in advance. Very well. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we? Before I engage in my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something. But I'm not gonna lie, if it's like the game is underway or the thing's afoot, I'm not gonna lie, I'm doing it in my regular voice. I'm not doing it in his voice. For the entire thing until it comes down to the end of it. I'm letting y'all know that ahead of time. It's when it hits that thing, I'm gonna do it. So my voice is not gonna die out here today. What, pray tell, is behind the curtain? That is the Two Spells special exhibit. There is an extra charge to see it. Ah, the special exhibit, the House of Horrors. You must have picked a special killer then, I presume. Would you be so kind to draw back the curtain, I wonder? Ah, absolutamente none. There's nothing amiss behind there. Nothing amiss, madam? What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? Ah. I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond before the situation worsens. Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only a soupçon. Number 139. I must confess I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The Two Spells special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer, one would expect, is nowhere to be in sight. What does strike one, however, is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor. Wait, I've seen that guy before. Yeah, I've seen that guy before. He looks familiar. Well, whether perhaps Mr. Holmes, that man on the floor is a ruthless killer himself. I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact. I agree, because I feel like I've seen that man before. That man was like, he was out there just doing this every time. Every time with a napkin, the entire time. What? As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they're always distinguishable from real humans. So allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit. Okay, here's what we're gonna do here, though. Excuse me. We're gonna skip the beginning of it, probably, but we'll talk about the other thing, though. Let's do it the other way around. Why would you say that? And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime. Ah, she looks as pale as a candle wax. I don't understand. So, Madam Two Spells, as you agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Alright. Or should I just do my regular voice? Yeah, I said I was going to do my regular voice here. Alright. Now this is where my regular voice gets played, though. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. I'm doing my regular voice here. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some 200 pounds. Okay, now with her, I gotta do her voice too. That sucks. That is all of my own money. So, what does this large sum of money reveal? Ah, not as much as an involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Two Spells. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that public notice. That we have to go handle. Waxwork for sale, your business has been hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer the centerpiece of your special exhibit for the sum of 200 pounds. Now let's explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear that the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Ah. Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. Which dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds. Yeah, she's just smiling too. It would appear that you have twisted this gentleman around your little fingers most effectively. What are you suggesting? He rationally agreed to purchasing the waxwork for the sum of 200 pounds. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him that an extortionate amount he was paying, but the money was no longer in his hands. The result, the scene we see before us, he collapsed in shock. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer price. We only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret. Alright, sorry I have to do my regular voice for Sholmes, but yeah, I gotta do it. Let's get out of the way. Now, once these other things are out the way, we're not reading the other ones. Unless it comes down to change the thing now. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands. Let's consider the problem for a moment. You cannot possibly... What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is that young man is standing over here. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need to only observe his neckerchief, such as is worn by police as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay. What are you talking about? The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards. But next we turn our attention to old man sat before him with a particular unsightly visage. I've been watching closely and he hasn't moved a muscle, almost in fact as if he were a waxwork. But your reaction only confirms my suspicion, madam. I noticed that at once, of course, observe. The telltale sign that proves that whether or not this old man's waxwork is obviously the price tag. Ruppets, a tragically low price, you might say. But perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to this portly gentleman for an exorbitant 200 pounds. The sort of plucky behavior that is sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madam? I do not. Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must have been reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon. Alright. And thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. Okay. It's got the thing out there too. I say I've studied you all in silence. You have, Hurley. You have. And you're obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot. If I could just bring up one more point, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, the notorious Naruhodo 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow. According to your introduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So, that would mean that he's a particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it? The killer policeman. Uttermole. Sorry. It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find that the culprit had disappeared into the ether. And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Uttermole. So you mean that since the look at old man there's supposed to be there? Indeed, it's a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable. In fact, yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well. But isn't 200 pounds a lot of money for a wax model? It would appear enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages. If that puts things in perspective. So, it was quite a lot then. Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down? That bubbly wax is a lot more and more ominous. The smell of all the molten wax is starting to worry me. Sholmes did more or less accuse her to her face, so I think I might have to call in upon your assistance here, Iris, if that's alright. To make some minor corrections to the great deductions. Of course it's alright. We'll set things straight. Let's get started then, shall we? Before Madame Two Spells vents her anger. That's what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. So, Madame Two Spells, according to our agreement, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famous great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Let's cook. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Let's go ahead and handle this. Yeah, we're not reading this though. Okay. She looks up. Says an involuntary glance. She's looking at the pub. He's looking at the pub notice. That's what we need to correct now. All right. She definitely looked in this direction. It's true. But I'm not sure she'd sell any of her waxworks even for 200 pounds. Oh? She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. For me, I wouldn't sell anything for them. For that much, I would. But it sounds like that makes me a bad person. Well, anyway, I wonder what the 200 pounds could have been other circumstances. Let's follow that furtive glance again and see if there's anything we can explain it. I can't see crap. There is this man here. Did someone just text me? Yeah, someone just texted me about something. Okay, so okay, there we go. Oh, what the? I just had to do that? They don't even tell me that. I literally, oh, I could move it with this or that. I forgot I could move it with this or that. Okay, let me see this. Go to the wall. What's that note doing pinned on the wall there? Oh yes, let's see. Dear Madame Two Spells, we've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for a safe return is 200 pounds. Have the money ready by noon of the 23rd of October. What? This is like a sort of thing that's left behind when someone is kidnapped. Yes, it's a ransom note. Exactly.
Take that!
My turn to talk to you, ma'am. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by the ransom note. And if Sholmes talks, I'm going to talk about regular voice as well. I'm not caring. Quite so. We must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness abducting the waxwork. 200 pounds is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it. The model in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have. In summary then, the 200 pounds you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now, let's explore the next curiosity in which we are presented. Yeah, we got this. We're not gonna do all that. Because the you get that. You know, they spit facts here. And there's 200 pounds. So if the waxwork was kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who the man is? We could just ask him when he comes around. I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris. Yes, you're right. Hurley's trying so hard, we mustn't let him down. Well, there's little doubt that he's suffered of shock. That much is clear. But in that case, what Madame Two-Spells is trying to hide? Let's have a closer look around. What the? The hand? I guess we'll look at the hand. This is just Madame Two-Spells' right hand, isn't it? Yes, it must be. You clearly see her left hand after all. Oh, but wait a minute. This is the left hand as well, look. Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please. And it seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's really hard. You mean, it's made of wax? I guess it is. I was just assuming that it could be something else up there, but I guess we'll take it. I guess we got something going then. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed! With a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow. How could you... The head protruding from the bottom of your cape, it ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that in fact it's a left hand. And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it doesn't belong to you, madam. It's the head of the waxwork model. Yep, gotcha. Some of the visitors to my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage. So you mean that arm? Yes, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir. No small keepsake. Like taking a whole branch from a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms. I'm afraid I had to teach the man a vast lesson. He confronted the man and tried to take the arm back. And the result, the scene we see before us, he was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later, but for the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this exhibit, yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped. There we go. There you go, perfect. The question that arises, then, is what become of the waxwork that chased hands. Let's consider that problem for the moment. You cannot possibly... Okay, yeah, there we go. We don't have to read this because, there, we already got that. According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway. A way of communicating with his colleague without revealing his identity yet, yes. It's a secret that closely guarded by Scotland Yard. that Mr. Shobes didn't hesitate to give away. Well, uncovering secrets isn't any true detective's nature, of course. Right, anyway, what the heck, bro? I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly. Wait, what the? I think we gotta have this.
Take that!
I think. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his shoulder stub. No such boneless human walks this earth. Of that I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact defying all odds, a waxwork model. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes. He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of that man. Naturally! What other explanation could there be? And with this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor, the special example, wasn't it? Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him. Let's see the faces. Yep. Yep. And this is when that's the problem, and I think that's the last one, I think, if I'm thinking. Okay, whoa. It didn't let me. God, read it, bro. Read it. Alright. A killer policeman called Otterbull, was it? Was he well known? It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like. It's a very low price, though. Threepence isn't much money. Only enough for a few measly hours of gas in Mr. Garredeb's delightful lodgings, in fact. So this is the special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for £200. Is this crusty old killer police Otterbull, really? Perhaps we should have a good look around again to see if another idea crops. What the?
Take that!
That. The telltale sign that proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork isn't the obvious twitch. Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, this splendid old man is indeed a genuine member of Scotland Yard. Slight shift in your choice of adjectives, or adjectives, then. And there you have it. Well, Madam Two Spells? Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded them that someone come in the first place. He's clearly fatigued. He's sound asleep. But then, what's the tag about the showing the price of 3 pence? No doubt about the price tag of the muffler, which the old Bobby purchased recently at the local market. And I presume you observed the scarf tied around his arm. Does that strike you, Mr. Darwood? Yes, the secret sign used by detectives to show that criminal activity is currently on their way. Of course, because as you know, there has been just such a criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, detective. So, it would seem that we have arrived to the truth. The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped. In Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' a great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. It is a mystery. Deduction complete, and it's elementary. Alright, now I'm assuming this might be the last part of it, so we'll see how it goes. Mhm. All sorts of people visit my museum here. Many women of young and old. Sometimes they dropped in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. Anyway. Your great deductions were even more enchanting than I had been led to believe. Did I believe? Okay. It was a pleasure, my dear madame. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. As for your rough customer, I've no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is that the waxwork from the special display, if it was indeed genuinely abducted. Yes, tragically, it was... Then I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork, in as much detail as possible, if you please. Very well, but I'm afraid I told you what I know. I must insist that you return to your work. The talents of a great detective can be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish. Honestly, I'm saving it here. And look, if it's that bad, I can just go out there and keep it going and it's saved for the trial. So I'm assuming this will be after the trial too, so Alright. I feel like we're so close to beating it. But yeah, we're going to stop it here, chat. Thank y'all for showing love on the stream. I appreciate it. Even if this is very near the end, I'm not trying to read that much. I'll read it later. But yeah, I'll see y'all very soon and later, though, on Twitch. Peace and love, y'all. And yee.